just here with a very quick update. Um, I have to just, like, I was trying to just let this go. Um, we had social night today. I just got back from social night, and I'm really kind of taken aback by a little incident that happened. And I don't know if I'm overreacting, um, but there's a so the program that I'm at, they bring in new volunteers every 2 weeks. The 15th and the 30th of every month programs start. And um, so tonight was our first social with the new group of volunteers. And it's a huge group. There are 50 new people, so there are about 100 of us here now. So there's a new volunteer, older woman. There are a couple of older adults here, but this woman is definitely a senior. And there are a couple of seniors here, no problem, right? And she gets sick. She throws up in the middle of social night. But there's several rooms that we're in and outside. So the room that I'm in, it's kind of like a hallway, like walkway, and it's myself, her, and I think one additional person was there when she threw up. And I'm like, oh my goodness, can I get you some water? Like, she's an older woman. She looks at me and gives me like a side eye, and it's like, no. I'm like, okay, maybe she's embarrassed, she's not feeling well, whatever. So 2 seconds, like not 2 seconds, but like a minute passes, and one of the volunteer coordinators who works for the organization sees her and is like, "Oh my goodness, do you need some water? Can I get you some water?" And she looks at her and it's like, "No." Then literally 2 seconds later, a white girl walks up and it's like, "Oh my gosh, do you need some water?" She's like, "Yes, yes, please, please." Like, no one offered her water before. I really think she did not want water from a black person. And I'm so totally taken aback by that. Like, those kinds of things happen at home in the States all the time, right? Like, you encounter racist people. But, like, I did not anticipate that here in Africa. Like, and maybe that's just naive on my part. But honestly, it was really upsetting to me that, like here in Africa, that you have an issue with black people. And as I processed it more, like, why would you come to Africa if you were racist, right? And I don't even think she acknowledges it. I think she sees herself as like better than, and she's here to help the poor black people in Africa, and that's why she's here. But God forbid she gets some help, or assistance from a black person when she's in need, right? Maybe I am overthinking it. Maybe I'm making something more of it than needs to be, but I just had to get that off my chest. That it was off-putting. It was disappointing. But I'm not gonna give that woman any more of my energy. I had a good day overall. Had a good session with my girls today. I actually decided that I'm going to extend my women's empowerment program and cancel my childcare. I was initially supposed to do 2 weeks of women's empowerment and 2 weeks of childcare, but there's so many people here. I would say like more than half of the volunteers who come here because they want to do childcare or teaching with small children. And very, very, very few people sign up for women's empowerment. When I came, the week I came 2 weeks ago, there were only no, two people who were here out of the group of like 40 people who came in for women's empowerment. And today, in today's orientation, there are 3 people who are here for women's empowerment out of 50. And again, they've got so many people willing to work with the kids. I don't think they're going to miss me. I think my girls need me. We're in the middle of a big project, and I just don't want to leave them hanging. I'm getting attached to them. So I decided to stay. They approved my extension to stay with them for the full month instead of just the 2 weeks. So I'm excited about that. I got myself into a little pickle with the girls though, because I don't know, at some point I must have said that I like to bake or cook or something, because they asked me to bake a cake, right? And if you know me, you know that all of my baking comes out of a box. Like I might jazz it up a little bit and decorate it, but my baking comes out of a box and they're expecting me to teach them how to make a real cake with flour and sugar and whatever else goes in a cake. So I have been like Googling cake recipes. Um, so wish me luck, y'all. I think on Wednesday, that's the day that I'm going to bake this cake with them. So we will see what happens. After placement today, I decided to go to a children's orphanage. And, it wasn't what I expected. I thought I would have left there feeling sad or just kind of like bothered by what I saw. And it's not to say that these kids are living in great condition, but the kids are happy. And in my mind, when I thought of an orphanage, I thought of like a lot of little kids. And this particular orphanage was primarily like adolescents, like I would say like 12 to 18 ish. Um, so there was only one baby there. And there were probably like four um, kids that I would say under 5 age. And then the rest of them were pretty big kids. And what I liked about this particular facility is that they have been around for 15 years, and most of the kids that they serve 55 kids right now in this facility. But most of the kids have been with them for many, many years. And so it's not like this rotating box where the kids don't have any community. It is very much a community. You could see it there. You could see that the kids were happy. You could see that there was a bond between them and even between the staff and the kids. So it was nice to see that, because I think when I think about group homes, which is what I would think of the equivalent in the United States to an orphanage, not the same thing, I know, but in my mind that would be the closest thing to the equivalent of an orphanage in the United States. Um, the kids rotate so often, and they're moved from one home to the next home to a foster home to, there's just so much instability for them, that it was nice to see that these kids had a solid foundation. They knew where they were going to be a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. um, they said they have 10 kids currently in university, 8 of them in college. So the kids are doing really well. They have promising futures. And it is run all on donor funds. So when I went, we bought some food for them, rice and beans and flour and oil, soap, that kind of stuff, a package for them, which where they were very grateful for. And I had also, when I was coming from home, I had packed some snacks for myself just because I wasn't sure what I would find here, and how the food situation would be for me. But I decided I was going to just bring some cookies that I had packed and some crackers with me to just, leave there for them. And they were so happy for those cookies. Well, not apparently, but sweets are something that these children very rarely get. So getting a cookie for them was a major treat. So I'm happy I was able to do that for them. I didn't take any pictures while I was there. I didn't want them to feel like monkeys on parade. And so I took a picture of outside of the facility, and that was it. We weren't there for a very long period of time, but it was overall a good experience. Not what I expected, but again, I feel like I was pleasantly surprised at what I saw and the amount of community and love that I felt in that space. So that was a good way to spend the afternoon. That was basically my day. The only other thing that I did was I did buy some shrimp today, frozen shrimp from the supermarket. I went because like I said, I've been having a hard time with the chicken here. And I spoke to the chef today, and he said, listen, if you buy it, we'll cook it. So I went on a mission and I found some shrimp in the supermarket. It was ridiculously priced. It wasn't fresh, it was frozen. But hey, it is something. So I'm excited to have lunch tomorrow because I will be having something with shrimp. and some protein because I haven't had any protein really since I have been here. So it'll be nice to have that. But that's my day. I'm going to let the racist lady go and not give her any more of my energy. Overall, it was a good day. Tomorrow is Friday. Looking forward to that. This weekend, we're going to do a tour at Moshi, which is like a hot springs area. So, going to do that. And I will update you all either tomorrow or in a couple days. Thanks again for watching. Talk to you all soon.